Speaking of things that are photographed, apparently there's a cock ring in OKC. Did you know that?
I'm sorry, there's a what?
So I saw in an article or something that I was reading that there is it's called it's lovingly known by locals as the cock ring of OKC. But it's just a giant ring.
Okay.
That's a sculpture.
Oh. Okay.
And it says OKC on it. But it says it repeatedly. So it's a giant...
So it says cock.
Yes. So when we're in OKC, we need to go take a picture with the cock ring. Brian confirmed it is a thing.
It is a thing.
It's not fake.
That should absolutely be a title holder pick right there.
I couldn't wait to tell you. I was so excited. I forgot to tell you multiple times now. I learned this 2 weeks ago. I've been keeping this knowledge to myself for 2 weeks.
What were you waiting on? This?
No. I just kept forgetting. It became less and less important, but then it just became important again because you were like, let's go see stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I like Colorado. Colorado's pretty.
I've not spent much time in Colorado.
Colorado's pretty.
I spent like 3 months there.
Yeah. Colorado's pretty. Arizona's gorgeous. New Mexico's
I could never live in
beautiful.
Colorado, though, because every day I woke up with a nosebleed.
Yeah, that
of how
elevation.
dry it is.
Yeah, that's dry as hell. It's so dry. I went to Colorado in high school with my drill team to compete at the Air Force Academy. And, hey,
Sorry.
we're podcasting. Put the
I
phone
know.
away.
But I was texting Barbie,
No,
so I
put the
didn't
phone away.
forget.
Put the phone away.
I know I am, but she was literally just telling me. We were just having this conversation. So I wanted to finalize this conversation that we were having.
Okay.
About where we were staying and where we were going and
Gotcha.
the things and the stuff. Also, Lubbock is so much cheaper to stay in than Dallas.
I believe that. Lubbock's, there's fucking nothing in Lubbock.
Like $100 a night.
There's nothing in Lubbock.
But there actually is I haven't been to Lubbock in a long
It's a
time.
decent sized town.
But there's like 6 Hiltons there.
Oh yeah, it's a decent sized town.
Yes.
But like as far as like people don't go to Lubbock.
Isn't there a college there?
Yeah, there is.
Isn't it Texas Tech?
Is that Tech? I'm not sure.
I
I know
think
there's a
it's
college. Might be Tech.
I feel
That
like
actually
it's-
makes sense.
It's not A&M.
No, it's not AM. That's College Station.
Yeah, so it's good.
And UT is Austin. And I think you're right. I think
College
Lubbock
Station
is Tech. A&M.
Texas State.
It's A&M.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh no, San Marcos is Texas State. Yeah, you're right.
Texas
okay, College
State is San
Station is
Marcos.
A&M. So yeah, it's got to be Texas
It's got to
Tech.
be Tech. Yeah.
Pew pew. Don't you love this?
Waco is Baylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's not nearly as fun. Baylor's is this.
Rawr.
Rawr.
Rawr. Baylor Bears.
Because they're the Bears.
Yeah.
And then Texas Tech. I think that
I have no idea
the
what Texas Tech is.
Rangers?
That would make sense.
I don't know, but all I know is that this is their symbol.
I'm not big
Pew,
into.
pew.
I'm not big into like college sports.
I mean, I'm not either.
I like A&M baseball. A&M baseball is fucking fantastic.
I hate that word.
Fantastic.
I hate that word.
I don't say it a whole lot anymore.
You say it all the
I
time.
do not say it all the time.
We should go back and listen to both our panels and also our podcasts because
How many times
this
do I
is
say
a drinking
fantastic?
game of how many times does Sir say fantastic?
Hey, it's better than the
And does it
community
make you want to buy a
drinking game.
timeshare? This beach, it's fantastic.
Fantastic.
You can have it for $9.95 a month.
Fine, I'll just switch to my other favorite one, which is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, but that just sounds sarcastic.
It is. Most of the time it is sarcastic.
That's
Fan-fucking-tastic.
that's like the equivalent of
Abso-fucking-lutely.
oh look, our third mock panel was scheduled.
Oh, God.
I got a Zoom invite.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
Welcome to the podcast. We've been sitting here talking for like 10 minutes about random shit. I don't even know how long this has been going, but yeah, probably 10 minutes sounds about right. And hey, welcome to our library. Welcome to our library. Welcome to the Dynamic Empowerment Nexus.
Oh, right.
AKA D.E.N.
This is the intro.
to keep us singing the song for people.
Apparently. Good gracious. That was loud.
Yeah, that was.
Sorry to everyone's ears that has headphones on.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. Maybe y'all didn't even hear the screaming dog upstairs.
I don't know.
She's a 15-month-old puppy. That's what she says.
I'm Prussian. This is Lucky. We are the Texas 2025 Master Slave couple. We are also running for Southwest in like 3 weeks. That's what we were just talking about in Colorado Springs.
And then we got off on college football.
And we, for some reason, started talking about college football. Like, this
And
is
cock
just
rings.
us. And cock rings. Apparently, we just random tangents. That's us.
They all connected, actually. If you go back and listen to them, every single one of them was
Everybody
connected.
was able to follow.
I know how we got there.
You know how we got there. I don't know how we got to cock rings.
Well, we got to cock rings because you were talking about the Air Force Academy and things we needed to go see.
Oh, okay.
And so that reminded me of things we needed to go see when we go to OKCC, and that reminded me of the cock ring.
Okay, that makes sense. No, that makes sense.
See?
I see the trail.
It makes sense.
It was a little bit of a jump, but yeah.
It was just a jump in the future.
And then we jumped back to Colorado.
And then we jumped back.
Okay, you and your watch are really starting to piss me off.
Why?
Because you're paying attention to your notifications and not to what we're doing.
I'm doing both.
No.
I mean, I am.
I understand that, but no.
Okay, then I need to put it on Do Not Disturb because I'm going to get all of the notifications. How do I do that? Oh, there we go. Boop.
There we go.
Do Not Disturb for 1 hour. That works.
That's fine. Yeah, no phones. No notifications. I don't look at my shit.
Which is astounding.
This is dedicated time to what we're doing.
Which is astounding.
What, that I'm not looking at shit?
Yes.
I am dedicating time to doing this.
Unmedicated ADHD.
Yes, and so therefore I can focus on this.
That's fair. I can't focus very hard on this because every single time I get near a microphone, I'm like, ASMR tones.
No, we're not doing ASMR. Stop it. So actually, since we are coming up on our contest,
Like 3 weeks
3 weeks
ish.
I figured we would talk about our platform. I think that would be the best way of leading into that.
Okay.
For number one, for those that don't know, we are a master slave couple. We approach
I'm
master
the slave.
slave. Yes, we approach master slave from a different. I wouldn't say a different. I would say from a more open.
I would just say from a unique lens.
A unique lens. A unique that is.
It's not like a lens that
has.
has broken the mold of things,
No.
but it's not one that is the mold of things.
Correct. We haven't broken the mold. We are still very much MS. We still do have some traditional values in there. We still have some traditional things that we do, though our MS is a primal MS. There's still aspects of it that are what you would normally see within Master Slave, but we are very much, and this goes into our platform, which is the mess in MS. Mm-hmm. Do you want to explain that? We have slightly varying views on this.
Yeah, but I mean, overall,
We agree with the principle.
We agree with the principle of things. But like that's us as a couple in general.
Yep.
We don't meet like this. We meet like this or like this. Maybe we're perpendicular. We're like going the
Sometimes,
same
yeah.
direction. I don't know. That sounded smarter in my head. Anyways, so the mess in MS basically to me is the ability to be raw and be real and have disagreements with my partner and my person without fear of that jeopardizing our relationship. Mm-hmm. And like one of the things that we have within our relationship that is a very traditional master slave thing is I have a voice, I don't have a vote, meaning that I can give him all of the feedback, I can give him all of the information, but at the end of the day, what we do is decided by him.
Yep. It's my
Including
decision.
all the consequences that go with making those decisions.
Yeah.
The difference is that while I have a voice, not a vote, I have a very loud voice.
And you will complain the
for
entire
lack of
time.
a better word. Yeah, it's like when I go to the gym. It's like I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do. I'm just going to bitch about it the entire
You're just
time.
going to complain all the time.
I'm just going to complain.
Yeah.
Like it's not that I'm not going to do it. It's not that I'm going to blow up about it, or it's not that I'm going to like use service out of spite, if that makes sense. It's just like
malicious compliance.
Well, it's not even that it's malicious compliance. There's nothing.
I'm a fan of malicious compliance.
Well, there's nothing malicious about it. It's more so.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're not doing that.
Yeah, so it's not malicious compliance. And like that's what I think is the difference personally between this and bratting. Is like bratting is malicious compliance, whereas
That's fair.
Whereas like I have no malice in the situation. It's more so that I just have to do it the way that I want to do it.
Yeah.
You care. You're an end results kind of person.
I am. I'm very much.
You don't care if I clean the toilet with on my hands and knees, or I hire someone to clean the toilet.
Nope.
As long as the toilet gets clean, you don't care how it gets done. Versus a lot of more traditional MS would see you. Well, I would say they would see you like hiring somebody like as shirking the task.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I would give you that part. I wouldn't say that traditional MS would lean into the results driven because I know plenty of masters that are absolutely just results driven, and that's what that's how I was as a slave. I was, do not tell me how to do this. You just tell me what you want done, and I'll get it done. End of story. Like, as far as like Lily saying, we're going to this event. Okay, cool. I knew what that meant for me. For me, that meant that I was driving, so I had to make sure that the car was filled up, make sure everything was good on the car, all of that. Because even whenever I was the slave to Lily, I drove everywhere. It drove me nuts for her to drive. Absolutely drove me nuts. That was just part of my gig. She did not tell me how to do any of that. I just did it. And that was my service.
Yeah, I think the only exception to that rule is if for some reason I don't know what to do.
Yeah, then I can teach you.
Or
we talk about it.
Yeah, like I'm a lot less likely to quote unquote maliciously comply or to have a loud voice about something if I don't know the outcome that you're seeking.
Yeah.
And so like that's where I feel like that we work on alignment a lot, which is a traditional MS thing to kind of work through. But otherwise, like if I will go get him his coffee, but I will do it stamping.
Yeah, sometimes.
As an example.
But the results are still there for me.
But the results are still there. He still gets his coffee, whatever. I might just like sit it down and stick my tongue out at him and walk away.
Yeah.
But the thing
then
is
I get
like
a chuckle out of it. So
yeah, but I'm not like looking for the chuckle.
No.
It's more so I'm someone, like I said, or I've said in I think previous podcasts, or most of the community knows this about me at this point. I suffer from, or not suffer. I make other people suffer. I don't suffer.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So I'm autistic and I suffer from something called PDA, or pathological demand avoidance. Like if I am, as an example, if we're walking out the door and I already have the bag in my hand that I know he's about to tell me to grab, and I've already gotten it, and he tells me, hey, don't forget to grab that bag, I want to throw the bag at him because I've already done the task. Like, you don't have to tell me to do the thing because I've already done it, and now I don't want to do it anymore. And sometimes that will ruin like the entire trip because it almost feels like you can't trust me to notice the little things. Almost.
Well, it's not even just that. It's also anytime that I tell you to do something, the first answer is no.
It's correct. The first answer is absolutely not. What's in it? What's in it for me? Why should I do that?
That is PDA. It's not so much the aspect of I tell you to do something that you've already done and therefore it throws you off. That is absolutely an aspect. But the part that really applies to this
really butts up is that my first answer to everything is
no.
absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it becomes a game. for me.
Yeah, which it's either you either have to make me do it, convince me to do it, or basically like force me to do it.
Yeah.
With some sort of ulterior motive. Or decide that never mind, it's not worth the fight today.
Yeah, and sometimes it's the answer. Sometimes it's not even worth the fucking fight. Sometimes it's, okay, we're going to play.
Yeah. So as someone who is a slave, to have other people tell me that no is not a valid answer was something that really, really didn't jive with me as a person, because I can't not have no as a response.
Yeah.
And like, I can't have no be a questioning of your authority, because it's not a question of your authority. I've already given you that authority. It's more so like, we have to get past the no.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people don't go in traditional MS.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say they don't go there in traditional MS. I would say that there's plenty that do. However, no is typically not an option.
Correct. Or they would have never gotten into an MS relationship with a slave that their first answer is no.
Is no. Correct.
Because
I think that's fair.
Because compliance is sometimes the desire.
Yes.
Whereas compliance is not necessarily the goal in our relationship.
No. Well, one, we have a CNC relationship, so consensual non-consent relationship, which is a whole other topic in and of itself. Basically meaning that you have given me the consent to do whatever the fuck I want to get you to say yes type aspect. Or whatever I'm wanting to do. Regardless of if you say no or not. You can say no. You can say red. You can red. You can safe word, try to safe word out. That doesn't mean I have to stop.
No, there's one single safe word that I can say, which is your legal name.
Yes, and then you have my immediate.
Then I have your full attention,
attention,
and everything we're doing now stops.
Yes, and that is used anytime.
Yeah.
That's not even just a.
Which I don't ever use your actual name.
No, you don't.
Like, ever.
I don't even think you say it to my parents.
No, I don't.
Oh, no, yeah. And then from, like, my perspective on what the mess in a mess is. For me, the mess in a mess is, it's twofold. One, it's a call to action. And I'll get into that in a minute. But the other part of it is a call in, I would almost say. It's a message for those that have never seen themselves reflected in what we portray MS as.
Yeah, I would say that what we don't portray either in social media or pop culture, or if you're within the community as a whole.
Community. I would say within the community specifically, because that's generally the people that we run into the most.
True, but in this particular platform.
Sure, yeah. But most of the people that we have actually spoken to, okay, this all came about because of our primal MS class, which came about because we did MS in a different way. We had never seen anybody else identify their master-slave relationships as a primal type master-slave relationships. We've seen them done as like daddy-girl master-slaves. We are, mommy little, whatever master slaves. But we've never seen it done in a primal aspect. And
I think there's lots of different archetypes within MS, but we had never seen anyone identify within our particular archetype.
Correct. And so we made our own. And from that, we got a lot of feedback that was, I didn't see myself being MS because I can't do that. I can't do the I am his peace, and I worship the ground he walks on shit. No, I want to fight you, and you need to earn it.
Correct.
That was what we have.
Yeah, I think that was like my favorite question that we've gotten on a mock panel was, what's the worst MS advice that you've ever gotten? And you were like, there's a lot of it, but I think that it's that they only surrender once.
Yeah.
And mine would have been that my submission is a gift.
Yeah.
Because
both of those are bullshit.
Both, like, if you, Yeah, sure, they sound poetic and they sound
they sound
pretty,
very pretty and
they sound very
fantasy-driven.
quotable
And fantasy driven.
and yeah, exactly, and very fantasy driven. But like when we look at the day-to-day life, I am not his piece.
No,
at
you
all.
are my pest.
I am his pest, and sometimes that's said lovingly in the sense that
Yes.
I am his annoyance and someone who spends pretty much 24 hours a day with him. But it also comes from the fact of like, we're going to Colorado.
You're my pusher.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're going to Colorado here pretty soon, like we were talking about earlier, and there's a significant altitude difference between here and there. Mm-hmm. And this man consumes caffeine like it's going out of style. You can't continue to consume caffeine at the rate that he is consuming it and still survive altitude sickness on a very well place. So like
it's a great example of you being a pest.
Part of my being his pest is, sir, you have to stop drinking sodas. Mm-hmm. Because I would like you to come back from Colorado in one piece.
I'd be one piece.
Yeah, in a box.
Yeah, it's one piece.
Okay. No.
Yay, dark humor.
But a lot of traditional MS would be like, oh, sir, you should really, consider this.
No,
I'm just like, no, sir, I'm not buying you any more sodas. Like,
pain in the ass.
If you want a soda, you have to leave. Bet you there's a soda in there right now.
There's not.
What's in there right now? An energy drink?
Yep.
Yeah. Uh-huh. It's 12:23 at night on a Monday. Now Tuesday, 23 minutes into Tuesday. You know what's in mine? Water with some flavoring because water is gross and fish pee in that. So
fish fucking it.
Fish fucking that. So
that's why I don't drink water.
I've drank 80 ounces of water today, sir.
You.
Yep. On average, I drink 140 ounces a day.
Good job.
No. 40 ounces times 3. 120 ounces.
120 ounces. Yeah.
It's like I can math.
So it's that aspect of bringing to light that not every MS looks that way. Mm-hmm. It's a message for those people that are not an MS to be like, oh, it doesn't have to be what I see portrayed, especially within our community, because generally what ends up happening in contests are, honestly, I would say they're the biggest reason that this happens.
I wouldn't say they're the biggest reason that it happens, but I would say they're definitely
one of the leading ones.
I would say that they're the biggest public reason that it happens.
Okay, yes.
But I don't think that they're the biggest reason that it happens.
All that we ever see, all that anybody that's never been in MS and anybody that's never tried to do MS, all that we ever see is what is portrayed at those contests or at the conferences and everything else. It is the fantasy. It is the full leather and the covers and the and the kneeling and the hands. It's so much of the fantasy aspect, whereas we don't do that.
Oh, I wouldn't say that's true necessarily. We do those things. We just do them.
We do them differently.
It's not even that we do them differently. It's that we do them, but we do them in addition to what we like. Don't get me wrong. Like headspace setting and kneeling and rituals and protocols and all those things are absolutely valid
and great.
And those are things that we do within our relationship.
Yes. We do them differently, but yes.
I wouldn't say we do kneeling differently.
Okay, well, no, that's fair.
That's pretty standard.
Sometimes I take you down to your knees, though.
Correct. Yeah, how we get to there. But like I said, like the ritual and the protocol and the things, all of those are important, and all of those things within a general framework are within traditional MS relationships. Mm-hmm. Ours just looks different.
Yes.
Right? The feeling and the energy and the exchange behind those things are different. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, and I think that that's the part that like we don't really talk about. Are you done?
Probably not, but you can continue.
was very rude.
I can't help sneezes, darling.
Well, try.
Okay.
Anyways, distraction. What was I saying?
Oh no, I was trying not to sneeze.
Just now?
Well, when before.
Oh.
Like as I felt it building, I was not paying attention. I was like, oh, it's coming.
And so am I. Nope, I lost it.
Oh, you lost it?
I think so.
Oh, well.
These lights are very distracting.
No, they're not.
Really? Okay, what do you see when you look at these lights?
They're honeycombs.
Yes, that's why they're distracting.
No.
I'm just waiting for like the buzz of bees.
Okay, and then the second aspect of it being kind of a call to action within that being that, okay, I guess it'd be kind of like how we portray it. We've had several people come up to us, and this is kind of, it's a knock on the MS community. It honestly is. We get the conversation or the comment. I would almost call it a compliment, but we get the comment a lot of, y'all are not like MS people that we know. Y'all are actually fun. Like, we get that a lot. And we are accepted in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Because we have fun.
Yeah, and like that's not to say that the MS community or other MS couples, because I know there are a ton of people that are absolutely fun. But the thing is that
what is portrayed is very strict.
Correct. Which
very prim and proper.
It's almost militaristic.
It is. Yeah.
And so it's not meant to be approachable. It's not meant to be discussion topics. It's not meant to be these things.
Yeah.
And I think that what we do differently and have done even before we were title holders is like we want people to come up and talk to us about our relationship. Personally, for me, it's a selfish thing because I love talking about our relationship.
You do.
It's my favorite.
It's your favorite topic.
It's my favorite topic. And like community and what I call kink theory crafting are like my favorite topics. So like sitting down with someone at a conference or a lunch or whatever and figuring out why they're here, how they got here, what they've learned, what brought them into it, what do they wish that they knew now, like all of those sort of really in-depth conversations are what drive me as a person. And the difference is that I can have those conversations with someone I've known for 5 minutes versus for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people are very closed off in
MS. Yes.
MS.
Yes.
And that creates barriers to entry around.
So I'm gonna
the relationship.
Slightly disagree. I'm gonna say they're not closed off. They just appear to be closed off, and so therefore they are unapproachable.
That's what I mean. Is that optics become reality? It doesn't matter if you are or you're not closed off. If you appear to be closed off, you are.
Well, it's there are tropes within MS where the slave is quiet and demure and graceful, and the master's peace, and the master is commanding and stoic and control and always in control. And
leads the conversation.
And, you know, that type of, they're tropes. And they're there for a reason. Mm-hmm. Whether they be stereotypes or not, they're there for a reason because that is what has been. We are very much not like that. Mm-hmm. We have disagreements publicly. Not arguments. We have disagreements.
I don't say we argue a whole lot in the first place.
But we like to talk things out. Mm-hmm. We like to figure shit out. We like to be funny whenever we're doing that. We like to be smartasses. I value your opinion. I want your input. And sometimes you're funny. Sometimes.
I'm hilarious.
Sometimes.
That's the rule. If I make him laugh, I'm not in trouble. Which, thankfully, I'm hilarious. You laughed. I'm not in trouble.
No, you're not in trouble. But we have to be approachable to be able to do that. Or that makes us more approachable, I think is the best way of doing that. because we can sit there and have those conversations openly, that provides the opportunity to have further conversations.
Yeah, I think that the difference is that a lot, at least in my experience, a lot of MS culture and MS couples only talk to and associate with other MS couples, which I absolutely get and understand.
Oh yeah, it's comfortable.
It's not even that it's comfortable. It's like an MC only associating with other MC people. Yeah. There is a certain level of understanding
that happens,
and safety and decorum and unspoken protocols and rules and things that if you all are in the club and you all understand the rules, you can't possibly step on somebody's toes.
That's fair.
Right? But like, it feels like that MS is the land of 10-foot toes when it comes to other forms of relationships or other dynamics or people that have been in, let's say they've been in an MS relationship for 6 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, their relationship is invalid and not real.
Yeah, because they haven't been done that.
In a lot of people's brains. Yeah. Whereas you and I would sit down and have this conversation around like, oh, that's really awesome. You know, please tell us more about that.
Yeah. How's it been going?
This is how long we've been together. This is where we started. How is that going for you?
Yeah. We like having conversations.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if it's a pup handler situation or if it's, you know, just two gay guys at a bar.
Well, that's where we would be.
Like,
that's kind of where I want to say that we're a little bit different.
Soccer moms at an airport.
We have done that. We absolutely have done that. Or you have started that. And then I'm like, oh, God, okay, we're having this conversation. All right, let's do it.
I mean, hey, we're just sitting there at the gate. It's the time to educate people.
Yeah, and our flight was delayed by like 2 hours. So
I never have to see them again.
Yeah, that's fair.
Until they're on the same plane.
Yeah. But that's the other aspect. Like, yeah, a lot of those MS couples hang around MS people and attend MS things. I wouldn't say that we specifically don't.
No.
But
we expand beyond that.
We expand way beyond that.
Yeah.
Part of that being like our second event as title holders? RGV?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was our second event.
I think so.
First one was Sash Bash, which was with all sorts of people that are not MS.
First one was Vision.
No, Sash Bash.
Was it? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. It was Sash Bash, RGV, then Vision. Yeah. Okay.
So Sash Bash, which was around a whole bunch of people that aren't MS, but
we were the
title
only
holders.
MS title holders there.
Oh, well, we were the only MS there.
No, we weren't the only.
No, because Velvet was there.
Yeah, and the Twists were there.
Were the Twists there? Mm-hmm. I don't remember them being there.
Yeah, they were there.
Okay. Well,
they weren't presenting, but they were in the vicinity. Yeah.
We are the only Master Slave title holders there.
Correct.
For sure.
Well, we're the only Master Slave title holders. In Texas.
Currently, yeah.
We're not the only MS practitioners, obviously, but like we are the poster children, I suppose.
No, thank you. Anyway. Don't ever call me a poster child for anything, but...
But what?
I don't know. I had some smart-ass remarks, but...
You? No, sir. Never.
Never. Yeah.
No.
I want to hear it.
Damn it. I was going to say, because I'm not allowed inside thoughts, and I had an inside thought, and he recognized it, so now I have to say it. You said I only have smart-ass thoughts, and I said, no, sir, you typically only have dumb-ass thoughts. Oh.
That rule continues to be my favorite and least favorite.
Well, you know, I don't know what to tell you.
It is my favorite and least favorite rule of all time.
I have a love-hate relationship with it, too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's things like that. Other times it's, I wonder how many trees I could stack to get to the horizon line.
Yeah. Yeah. God.
Anyway.
So, yeah, but we go out to... I'm trying to think of, like, what MS events we have been to. South Plains.
I wouldn't even say South Plains is an MS event.
It is, because that's where the International's held at.
Yeah, I would say it
MS
has
track.
MS.
It's frequented
facets.
by a lot of MS.
Yeah, but the only quote-unquote MS events are MSC and Master Slave Gathering.
I disagree.
That's fine. You can disagree.
I
disagree with you.
I would say any place that has the contest is absolutely an MS event.
Okay.
Also, Mast. All of those are MS events, obviously.
I don't disagree with you, but we don't go to Mast.
We do not. We don't. One, there's not really one in Houston.
I mean, there is, but it's an hour and 20 minutes away from us.
Yeah, because Houston is an hour and a half away from Houston.
Correct.
So there's that aspect. Like, we might as well just go to the Austin one at that point.
Correct.
And we also got burned by Mast.
Well, I mean, okay, so I used to attend a fair amount of Masts, actually, whenever they were virtual during COVID. Mm. And then everybody started going back to in-person, and I feel like I lost an entire, like, culture and community. Because I would attend, like, Mast in New York and Mast in Florida.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like,
you can try some different ones, yeah.
Yeah, because, like, absolutely been burned by the ones around here.
Well, what I mean by burnt, and this, I will absolutely give Mast a try again. Mm-hmm. Have I made that push yet? No, because we are doing things outside of Mast. We are doing things outside of Mast.
Well, it's also we would have to attend a Mast that isn't here.
Well, yeah, we would absolutely have to. But I would give Mast another try, because what made me stop going was, God, almost 12, 13 years ago. Mm-hmm. Which is the biggest lie of Master Slave, that slave only surrenders once.
Yeah.
That one, I was like, no, this ain't for me. It ain't. Because it just didn't fit. Mm-hmm. But then I see that I've seen that perpetuated throughout writings, still, throughout classes, even held at South Plains.
Well, I think that's how we perpetuate abuse in a community that is built for abusers.
And that's one of the big things that we have to overcome. Mm-hmm. We put ourselves in uncomfortable situations a lot.
Yeah, like
RGV, for one. You are one of 5 women.
Femme presenting people.
I would say women in general.
So I would go even further than that to say that we do it on a regular basis, just walking around in our patches, like going to Pride.
That too. Well, I mean, one of the biggest. So I put out that writing about what happened in San Antonio, and it got shared out all over the fucking place.
I think like 100 times.
It got shared out a lot.
It got shared out a lot.
I don't think it was 20 times over 100. I think it was probably around like 30, 40. But it got shared out by a lot of title holders. Got shared by a lot of people from around the country.
The library, everything else. And the reason it got shared out was because
I was talking about people calling to remove events from Texas.
Yeah.
And that,
or red states in general.
But I started with Texas because that's where it happened.
Correct. And where we live and have the most access to what actually happens here.
Correct. And we've also heard this repeated numerous times.
Oh yeah, this is not my first call for that.
Yeah, SPLF should move. It shouldn't be in Dallas. It's not safe for whoever, whatever, all that.
Yep.
If you want to read it, please go read it. It was great. But in that writing, I included a photo of us at the Capitol, which was an uncomfortable experience. Because we're there in our Master Slave patches. We had just got them.
Yep. It was
the Sunday before we left.
Yeah.
Like, we went from there home. Which is...
Oh, right. That was when we were just you and me.
Yeah, it was just you and me.
It was just... Yeah, we didn't have any of our other title family. No. We didn't have any other title holders. It was just you and me.
Yep.
Holding hands, walking through the Capitol.
And we took some photos. And
Yeah.
we set up that one photo of us holding hands facing the Capitol building. And the Capitol's like right between us. But you can clearly see on my back it says master. On your back it says slave. And at least 3 comments
Yeah.
from people that shared. I think they didn't comment on mine because they know who I am.
Yeah.
But of people that
It was
shared
friends
it.
of friends. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, friends of friends or followers of friends, whatever. Saying, I love the words, but I can't get over that image. And that's something that we have to combat all the time. Because it's not so much mine, it's yours.
Yeah.
Yours has such a negative connotation.
Yeah. Which is understandable, considering the
Absolutely.
history of things.
Absolutely.
With that word.
Absolutely. 100%.
I mean, I had a lot of issues internally.
So did I.
With calling myself that ever.
Yeah.
And then you and I talked through a lot of those whenever we first got together.
Well, do you remember what I told you? Because it was my story of how I got over it. Or what started me getting over it.
Yeah, but I think it became a whole different struggle when I had to put it on my back. Because, I can call myself
a slave, but nobody ever sees it.
And no one ever sees it. Or I can call myself slave in communities where that's accepted. Right?
You're walking around with a target, a literal target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the story of how I got over it, that kind of led to you getting over it.
I don't know if I've still gotten over it, but I've gotten through it.
Gotten through it, yeah. I mean, we're walking around the Capitol. We've done it now 3 times?
Yeah.
2-3 times. Wearing our patches. But it still catches me, you know? But anyway, the story. Whenever I first came into the community, I started off as a slave. Now, there was about a 4-month lead up to that of where I was like, no, I'm not a slave. I'm submissive. I'm switch, all of those switches were due, That's how old switches are. Before that, they were called Sams, smart-ass masochists. And I was definitely one of those. But Lily, after we had played, we had talked, we had entered into a DS relationship. She had told me, I think you're a slave. And I'm like, the fuck I am. I am not your doormat. I am not anything like that. I'm not a slave. No, not a slave. She's like, you don't understand. We can talk about this more. Obviously, that there's obviously a lot loaded into that word.
Yeah.
She understood. And she's right. There's a shit ton that's loaded into that I'm just like, I'm not comfortable with that.
Well, I would say even beyond historical context.
Yeah, but just in general, the view of that is not not really acceptable, especially by people who don't understand it from this world. And I didn't.
Yeah.
Fully admit, did not understand it. So SPLF was coming up, and she said, I want you to talk to somebody. I'm like, okay. It's like, they are going to talk to you about being a slave. This is a slave, and they're going to talk to you about being a slave. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll at least hear them out. Because I'm curious, like, why the fuck would anybody do this?
Oh, yeah, I've sat down and had that conversation multiple times.
Yeah, why the fuck would you call yourself that? And we get there, we're doing all the intros, all that other stuff. It's my first SPLF, meet Cougar, meet Master Jim, played Marsha, all that, because Lily's connected to fucking everybody. And I don't remember, it was one of the first years of the quilt, and we had a presenter suite type thing going on. And Lily was a presenter, plus also running the silent auction. So we got to go in there. And she was like, they're meeting us here. You're going to talk to them. Probably about 5 minutes later, gorgeous woman walks in. Black woman. BIPOC. very black, walks in, but gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And then her husband walks in, bigger guy, black as well. And on their back, it's master and slave. And it really threw me off. That woman was namaste. Mm-hmm. Now, regardless of what they did or their viewpoints, this was well before then. And I can separate what she taught me.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to align with someone to educate them.
Yes, I do not have to align with somebody to educate them, and I do not have to align with them
to be educated.
To be educated.
Yeah.
And even then, didn't even know that we weren't aligned. It was like 10 years later. Yeah. But she actually she's a black woman, a proud black woman, that wears slave proudly on her back. And that was a big trip for me. Mm-hmm. And we had a very long conversation. And then we had continuous conversations. And then we actually went to Mast. And then whenever they stopped doing Mast was like the next one was whenever that whole issue happened. And I was like, nah, I'm done. By whole. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that conversation is what started me accepting it.
Yeah.
And really, it's some people replied back to some of those comments with, it's trying to reclaim the word, those different things. You're never going to get through to some people with saying that you're trying to reclaim it, because I don't think that we are trying to reclaim it. I think reclaiming is a bad word. We're not reclaiming it. We are not using it the same way.
Repurposing.
We don't use it the same way.
Yeah.
Because historically, slaves have always been that way.
Well, my thing is, and this is the thing that I kind of got through, not over, but through, was there's a very big difference between consensual slavery and non-consensual
Absolutely.
forced slavery.
Yes.
And
one is about surrender and alignment. The other is about imposing your will.
Correct. And that statement right there, imposing your will or imposing whatever, that was what that's what I experienced in prior relationships.
Yeah.
Was
the master slave is what allows predators to really target our community. And that's part of why MS has been closed off.
Yeah.
Because they don't want us to let that happen. Because then it reflects badly on all of them.
Correct.
Understandably. Mm-hmm. But also not getting ahead of it and not speaking about it makes it look bad to everybody outside of it.
Yeah.
And so you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, honestly. And I'd rather put myself in those uncomfortable situations and have those uncomfortable conversations. Like we've done numerous times. Mm-hmm. Than hide. And I'm not saying that that's what they're doing, but that's what it feels like to me. That they're hiding behind the safety of their community, MS community. And the problem with that is it's becoming less and less acceptable.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's hiding, because I don't think it's a conscious choice.
No, it's not. It's definitely not I'm going to hide from this. It's because you're part of the club.
Yeah.
Like hangs out with like.
Well, it's like what they say, you want to go to a bar where everybody knows your name. Right?
It's not Cheers.
But it is. It is Cheers.
It is Cheers.
But it is Cheers. Cheers is a perfect example for when people don't recognize when they've gotten stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
Because they're constantly hanging out with the same people. They've
they're complacent.
They're in an echo chamber.
Yeah. And echo chamber. Big. That's a great word for it.
They're in an echo chamber.
And they're not seeing the outside.
Because when you're in an echo chamber, you don't know that you're in an echo chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And it...
Piece of advice. If you don't want to be in an echo chamber, the minute that people don't disagree with you, you're in an echo chamber.
I wouldn't say the minute, but like if people are agreeing with you more than they are disagreeing with you,
there's a good chance you're in one.
There's a good chance that you're in an echo chamber.
And I mean, technically, we're in an echo chamber of the larger leather community, I would say.
I would say that there is... The one caveat to this is like human rights issues and things like that.
There should be in that echo chamber.
Like there is a distinct difference between right and wrong in that form of an echo chamber.
Yes.
But when it comes to how you run your relationship, or I guess quote unquote lower stakes, not affecting the greater populace.
Yeah.
Right.
Not affecting people's rights.
Well, I wouldn't even say affecting people's rights. I would say just affecting the greater populace.
I would say people's rights, people's ability to make money, people's ability to exist. Like that's not an echo chamber, in my opinion. Like that's just human rights.
There is right and there is wrong in that.
Yes.
So like I want to clarify, because in the political scheme that we live in today,
but even then,
people do live in echo chambers.
Yes. However, I would say,
but I don't know how you can get someone out of those things.
Even in that, I still don't want to be in an echo chamber because I want to know what they're saying.
I feel the same way.
That's me.
But
I want to know what they're saying. I will absolutely completely disagree with them forever, but I want to know what their arguments are.
Correct, because you can't rebut an argument that you don't understand.
Correct.
And I think that is absolutely a benefit. But I also understand that there are a lot of people in this current political climate that do not have the safety or comfort of having that opinion.
Absolutely. Of course. 100%. But that's part of like what
we don't necessarily quote unquote have that safety or comfort. It's just that we recognize and have weighed the benefits versus the detriments.
We've put ourselves out there. We have we're, for all intents and purposes, we're out. Our fucking faces are all over the place.
Hello, our face is here.
Well, my family, I'm pretty positive. Well, my uncle knows for sure. I think my dad does too. Well, I know my dad does. He at least knows I'm kinky. I don't know if he knows about the master slave shit, but he at least knows I'm kinky. And he probably told my mother.
I don't know if he wants to have that conversation with your mother.
I mean, I wouldn't, but I will. I don't care.
It will happen eventually.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Probably after those things are gone.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not.
No.
But we are very much open and out. Mm-hmm. Do we have that privilege to be that way? Yeah. We have a home. We present as a heterosexual couple.
We present as a cis white hetero couple. Yeah.
Yes, which we're not.
We present as the mold of what a perfect American family
2.5 kids
like.
And everything.
Really? Yeah, like
literally,
2.5 kids and everything.
Yeah.
But like, if you actually walk into
no white picket fence though. We have a wrought iron.
It's true. And no bushes.
Sorry.
That's a different episode.
It is.
That's my own personal episode where I just bitch. And you just get to sit there and listen. Mm-hmm. No, but like, that's what we appear from the outside. Mm-hmm. If you actually sit down and talk to us within the community, like, we are very far from that.
We are not the norm.
We're not the norm. And we don't really have friends like within the norm.
I do see that's my concern about being in an echo chamber, because I do not have vanilla friends.
So from that perspective, I guess we're in an echo chamber.
That's what I was talking about.
But to me, so I used to have vanilla friends. I
can't align with anything.
Well, I made a conscious choice not to, because I felt like I was consistently hiding pieces of myself, and it felt like pathologically lying consistently.
No, that's fair.
It's the same thing with vanilla relationships.
Yeah.
I just could not be my full self. I could not bring my full self to the table, and that felt like it was a waste of their time and also my time.
Yeah.
And so I made the conscious decision to, with the exception of like coworkers that I like see at, work functions or whatever, but like I wouldn't consider those quote unquote friends.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
They get a very curated version of me, and they get a very curated version from this time to this time. And other than that, I do not. Like, I am not the person that's going to get the promotion because I went to the after work function.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you don't pay me enough to be here during working hours. You really don't pay me enough to be here
during non-working hours. Yeah, for sure.
So, like, from that perspective, I guess it's an echo chamber, but I don't really see it as an echo chamber.
I don't either, because
In a traditional
sense, like echo chambers, where you're only hearing what you like. Basically, confirmation bias, right?
Yeah.
But
Now I gotta look up the word echo chamber.
But we try to avoid those. Also, our guiding principle of our relationship kind of helps us with that. Do you want to say what our guiding relationship principle is, or are you Googling?
I'm Googling. And oh, thank you. It itched.
That was weird.
It hadn't touched my neck in a minute, and it was itchy. Anyways, an echo chamber is a closed system where beliefs are amplified and reinforced, often by like-minded individuals, and dissenting opinions are excluded. This can lead to a situation where individuals are primarily exposed to information that confirms their existing views, potentially leading to increased polarization and a lack of exposure to diverse perspectives.
So, confirmation bias is within an echo chamber.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
anecdotal
specifically,
evidence as well.
Specifically required is the amplification of those ideas.
Yeah.
So it's the constant repetition and reinforcement, strengthening those views within the system.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, like, by that perspective, I do not believe that we live in an echo chamber.
Within the kink community, no.
No.
As Americans, yes.
Fair. But that's a different podcast.
It is. But
We should actually probably start wrapping this one
probably
up.
should. But yeah, the basically the call to action part of that is for MS couples to start showing what got them to where they are.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say
To be more vulnerable,
it's
tear down the facade sometimes.
Learn how to gracefully air your laundry in public.
Yeah.
How to hang your laundry out to dry.
I wouldn't
Like,
say so
wash
much
it at
their
home.
laundry. I wouldn't say so much their laundry. I would say they just need to be more open.
But in order to do that, you have to start breaking down those assumptions and stereotypes of wash your laundry at home.
So yes and no. Yes and no. Because there are plenty of things that they can do now without having to air their dirty laundry.
Okay, so what's one of what? So, Mr. Title Holder, what is one thing that you wish that the MS community would start doing to align with this principle?
Party more.
Okay, expand.
Party more. For example, the gay leather scene. Mm-hmm. Whether it be AKW, whether it be RGV, whether it be IML, whether it be drummer, whether it be ICBB, ILSB, and ICBB, whether it be your fucking local dungeon. Mm-hmm. They need to get outside of MS circles. Mm-hmm. And start interacting with those communities in a play and party sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely one thing.
10 more munches. Mm-hmm. Let the hair down a little bit.
Okay, so
Makes sense.
So I'm going to say it in a more prim and polished way because that's what I do in the
You
relationship.
do. Yes, you are my translator.
I am a translator.
I am the anger translator. You are my piece. You are my corporate speak translator.
Yes. So my biggest call to action is that we need to sit down and have conversations outside of our comfort zones.
Yeah.
When you say attend a munch, make it a point to go and sit down and talk to somebody that you've never met. Mm-hmm. I try to always look for someone who's in the corner of the room and looks uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. No, I love pulling those people in.
That's my biggest joy in life is finding the little introverts that finally get out of their car because they've probably been sitting in the car waiting to go to the munch for 8 months, and they finally got off the courage today, and they can't get to the table.
That is my. It's a little bit of a sadist in me, where I'm like, they want to be here. They've made it this far, but they're not going to go any farther, mm-hmm. and so therefore I'm going to pull them in.
Sheep's hook.
Yeah. And I am going to overwhelm them with kindness
yeah.
so that they have to interact. Mm-hmm. And it's absolutely just the sadist mm-hmm. in my head. That's like, that'll be fun.
And beyond that, I think that we need to interact with other title systems.
Oh God. Yeah. Big time.
I think that we're starting to see the needle move on that a little bit.
I would agree with that. I do think that there is. I think iPoll helped out with that. Mm-hmm. Honestly, the iPoll system helped out with that. Like for example, Velvet, who is international mm-hmm. person of leather currently. She's gone to IMSL, mm-hmm. IML.
Yeah. I mean, Mara did a lot of traveling during their
but I don't think Mara went to IML or anything like that.
No, I believe Mara was at IML, but
maybe they did.
But I think Mara traveled half the year last year.
Yeah, Mara was everywhere. But I also see it in that a lot of the iPoll contestants are not MS. A lot of them.
Yeah. I don't think there was a single MS.
Other than Velvet.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those iPoll contestants as well are very kind of in your face.
Well, so I think that there's a shift happening within the community, and it's been happening for the last 5 or so years, maybe a little longer. The next generation mm-hmm. is now old enough to matter.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
We're all now in our mid-30s. We've all been here now for a decade, maybe.
Some of us, yeah.
Some of us have been longer than that. Some of us have not been around as long as that.
Yeah, but we've came in and we've met people our age and they have empowered us.
Or vice versa, they haven't empowered us and we've started to stop listening to them.
Yeah.
And to make space.
Yeah.
And so my thing with the Mess and MS is a call to action that MS needs to evolve.
Absolutely.
And if we don't assist it in this evolution and we don't shape this evolution, it will...
It's going to evolve one way or another.
Yeah, exactly. It will turn into something that's out of our control.
Yeah. It will either evolve negatively or it will evolve positively. And if we don't help push it on the positive, it will evolve negatively.
Yeah.
Because of the viewpoint of those outside of it. Mm-hmm. They will force the negative.
Well, I wouldn't say they even would force the negative.
I would say
they would force the irrelevance.
Both. I would say they'd force the negative viewpoint, which would then enforce the irrelevance.
But I don't even think you need to be negative. I think that if you don't talk about something and if you don't attend the events, if you don't, build these things.
If you don't make the bridges.
Yeah, if you don't build these bridges, then it becomes irrelevant.
Well, I mean, I can speak to it from just in my time, 15 years of this, and being MS. Just the changes I've seen at SPLF, which is South Plains Leatherfest, which is the International Master Slave Contest. Just the changes in the attendees that I've seen there for the past 15 years. I love to quote one of my favorite songs with, I can tell my calendar days by the prices that they sell in the domestic beer. Mm-hmm. But just in the attendees that have attended SPLF, mm-hmm. the change. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that, and we've had this conversation a lot, is within the gay culture. There are some gay men who attend SPLF. Mm-hmm. Not nearly to the extent that it was. Mm-hmm. Like, IML was a frequent attender at SPLF. Mm-hmm. IMSL, prior to TGI, I don't know the last time they were there. Yeah, TGI was the MC this past year.
Yeah.
She's also a master in a master-slave relationship, so she was already
several.
Connected. Yeah, like 3.
But I think that speaks to what I've seen in the community with this evolution of the next generation becoming relevant.
Yeah.
Is that the next generation is not for exclusivity.
No.
Is not for a lack of intersectionality.
No.
Is not for all of these sort of closed barriers and
they're about removing them.
Backdoor handshakes and all these other things. They're about removing them either kindly
or not.
Or aggressively.
Yeah.
And I think, if we don't work
what was the Mara used the term a friendly bulldozer. There are plenty of not friendly bulldozers.
Correct.
There are plenty of door kickers.
Correct. And what my statement is that a brick can be used to either build a bridge or throw it.
Or throw it. Yep.
Yeah. And so, all I'm asking with this mess in MS is that if you're offended by it, let's say that you're out there in the world and you're an old guard leather MS couple and you're listening to this podcast and you're
a little frazzled.
And you're getting a little frazzled. Sit with that. Sit with that and think.
Ask yourself why.
Why? What have they said today? What have they done today? What have they portrayed today? And why is it affecting me like this?
Yeah. Why do I not like it?
So when I say that we proudly represent the mess in MS, it means that we proudly represent a possibility of what the evolution of MS is and will look like. And if you are not for that intersectionality, if you are not for that openness and camaraderie and connection, then frankly, you need to get with the program. Because you either evolve or become irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we knew that we had something. This started out as a joke, Kind of. It kind of started out as a joke.
That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say that most things in our relationship start as a joke. That's absolutely fair.
This kind of did start as a joke. It was we were poking fun at it. Because MS took itself so seriously, we were like, we don't. Mm-hmm. We are the mess in MS. And everybody's like, that's fucking awesome. And then we wrote it on an application.
3 times.
And they were like, you're going to piss somebody off.
I'm offended.
Then we got into our interview. And the first question.
This is in this application 3 times. And I'm offended.
Yeah.
So, if you're offended,
Sit with it.
good. Sit with it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
You've probably earned your spot.
Well, it's not even that you've probably earned your spot. It's that you probably started out offending someone.
Oh, yeah. Whether it was the conservative values of your parents or your neighborhood or whatever, you were offensive.
Correct. We don't make change in life
without offending.
We don't open doors.
Yeah.
We don't, build bridges or throw bricks.
Yeah.
Without offending someone.
Yeah.
And we're just here to do it with style, I guess.
I don't know. We're the I'm trying to remember basically the quote being time is a boulder, and the only people that I'm afraid of, that there are three types of people in this world. There are three types of people in this world. Time is a boulder, and those three people, one will drastically shove the boulder.
Oh, I got it.
You find it?
There are those who, when the boulder of time rolls toward them, stand in front of it and hold out their hands.
Yes.
And there are those who stand to the side when the boulder of time passes, but are quick to say, "See what I did? I made the boulder roll there."
Yes. And then but the people who truly frighten me are the ones that walk along the boulder and then slightly nudge it.
Mm-hmm. This is from the Stormlight Archives.
Yeah, it is.
It's an Oathbringer.
It is. It's one of my favorites. And I'd like to think that we are calmly walking beside it and gently nudge it.
Correct. Big change starts as a little itty bitty snowball. It didn't get to be a boulder overnight.
No.
Right. And so we invite you to come along and maliciously push the boulder with us.
Just a little bit.
We can play marbles.
But yeah, that's the mess in a mess. It's a long, well thought out version of it. We have a lot shorter, sweeter answers, but
this is not an interview. We are not timed.
No. Well, apparently not even our interviews are timed.
30 minutes.
No.
Maybe. I don't know.
No.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not worried about it.
TBD.
TBD.
But we'll hopefully maybe get another episode before the contest.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
Post Amplify.
Yes.
And we'll definitely get you all an episode after the contest because we'll have lots to say.
Oh, yeah.
Because we never have anything to say.
Never have anything to say.
Do you want to do our sign off now?
Sure.
What is your sign? I know what my sign off is.
That's true. Well, thank you all for joining us today. If you do have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, please feel free to put them down in the comments. Or if you'd like any advice or to speak to us directly, please email us at... I don't know if I set up the new email address, so for now we're going to go with the Dynamic Empowerment. No, it's the Empower Dynamic at gmail.com. Nothing has changed over to the D.E.N yet, so it's the Empower Dynamic still.
Double E, double D.
Double E, double D. And where's it going to be? Do I need to put my leg up?
Yes, right here. On his foot. Free foot content.
Free foot content.
But if you enjoyed the episode, please like, share, subscribe, interact from the bottom up over here. If you're on TikTok, interact from the bottom up over here. If you're on the YouTube, subscribe or comment down below.
And like.
And
share.
Or dislike. I don't really care. Comment is say feedback is feedback.
Feedback is
engagement is engagement.
Yeah. Engagement is engagement. Yeah.
It's true.
Even if your comment is negative, like imagine taking relationship advice from a couple of sixes. It's my favorite comment that we've ever gotten. It is stuck in my head.
I know. And then I said that we should find another six, and so we could be the
666.
three horsemen. We could be the three horsemen of the apocalypse.
But there's four. But anyway,
shh, there's not in this story.
Okay, got it.
The fourth one is sleeping.
Oh.
But anyways, thank you for joining us, and goodbye, and thanks for all the fish.
There we go. Yeah. Bye, guys.